So I think one of the most popular rumors coming out from Disney, aside from the very typical Kathleen Kennedy's being fired again, I mean, that woman has been fired more than I can even imagine anyone else in this entire world has been, right? But according to the latest rumor, there is a talk around town about numerous Disney executives apparently believing that the CEO, Bob Iger's endgame is to sell the company to Apple. This is probably the most second prominent rumor that always comes out from Disney. They always talk about how Bob Iger wants to sell Disney to Apple and how he's essentially, the conspiracy is that he is ruining the company purposefully so that he can sell it to Apple cheap and get a little bonus from it. So we're going to get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, I'm Shadow Band as hell. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and don't forget to like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. It says, as the House of Mouse continues to sink thanks to poor decision after poor decision, a new report suggests that a number of current and former Disney executives believe CEO Bob Iger has no interest in actually saving the company, but rather ultimately hopes to keep it afloat just long enough to sell it off to Apple. This insight into the supposed sentiment felt amongst the upper levels of Disney's corporate structure was first detailed to the public, courtesy of CNBC's Alex Sherman. Speaking with more than just a dozen past and present Disney executives as part of a deep dive analysis into Iger's disastrous return as CEO, Sherman discovered that many within the company privately believe Iger's desired endgame is to stay as CEO for as long as possible and then sell the company to Apple. Now, again, I don't necessarily know what would be the incentive here, right? Like, I get that maybe he's going to get money from this, right? He's probably got some secret dealings with people at Apple, but why would they want to do this? I mean, Apple is one of the biggest companies, if not the biggest company in the world, next to Amazon. I know those two go side to side trying to battle for top supremacy. But what would be the purpose for Apple buying Disney, right? Like, I just don't understand what would be the reason. Like, Apple is a tech company, and I don't really see them getting into the resort or like the parks or entertainment. Like, I just don't see the point. Maybe I'm missing something ultimately, and if you guys want to sound off in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it so I can have a better understanding of the overall situation. I just don't see what would be the actual like incentive for him to want to sell the company unless he's getting something on the side, as long as Apple can buy the company cheap, which, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Disney. It's never going to be cheap, but if any company has money to buy Disney, it's going to be Apple. It says, admittingly, such a deal sounds like nothing more than a pipe dream, born from overconfident Wall Street analysts. However, such a possibility should not be ruled out, as not only has Iger begun to seek out investment for the Disney-owned ESPN, but the company and its current CEO have enjoyed long-standing relationships with the popular tech developer. Thanks to an investment of roughly $5 million into the fledgling company, late Apple founder Steve Jobs was appointed the chairman of Pixar Animation's board of directors. He would hold this position as well as that of Pixar's CEO and, at one point, sole owner until the esteemed Animation Studios' 2006 acquisition by Disney, at which time his duties were rolled into his seat on the House of Mouse's board of directors. From there, Steve Jobs would continue serving as a member of Disney's board all the way up to his death in 2011. It would be during the organization of this deal that Iger would strike up a friendship with Jobs. Steve and I have become good friends since we'd made the Pixar deal, and the CEO recounted to Vanity Fair in September 2019. We socialized on occasion and talked a few times a week. We vacationed at adjacent Hawaiian hotels a few times and would meet and take long walks on the beach. Oh wow, this is getting really romantic. Talking about our wives and kids, about music, about Apple and Disney, and the things we still might do together. Our connection was much more than a business relationship. Oh boy, this is getting... I mean, what are we admitting to here? You know, it's supposed to be an article about buying Disney, not secret relationships over here. It says, we enjoyed each other's company immensely. Oof, and we felt we could say anything to each other. Oh boy, that our friendship was strong enough that it was never threatened by candor. You know, the LGBTQ people might be onto something. I feel like there is a hidden innuendo here between these two people, that they feel immense amounts of gayness between each other. There's no such thing as just friends with the LGBTQ. So I'm pretty sure this is one of those relationships they would say they're totally banging. You know, it says the two were so close, in fact, that Jobs texted Iger immediately after taking his son to watch Iron Man 2 to let the Disney boss know that it sucked. Oh shit, nice. However, as far as Iger is publicly concerned, such a sale is not currently at the forefront of Disney's forward-looking outlook. As during the company's recent Q3 2023 earnings call, whether you see a plausible scenario where the entire company will be sold, the CEO asserted, I am just not going to speculate about the potential for Disney to be acquired by any company, whether a technology company or not. Obviously, anyone who would want to speculate about these things would have to immediately consider the global regulatory environment. He added, I'll say no more than that. It's not something that we have to assess about. To that end, as seen with Microsoft's ongoing efforts to acquire Call of Duty and World of Warcraft developer Activision Blizzard, it's likely that a sale of Disney to Apple, or to anyone for that matter, would be subject to intense anti-monopoly scrutiny. You would think that's the case, but the thing is, it's very clear looking at what happened with Activision Blizzard and Microsoft that the anti-monopoly scrutiny, even though they definitely tried, all it took was them getting paid off. That's it. It took them getting paid off, and all of a sudden, nobody's looking that way anymore, and now they don't really care whether it's a monopoly or not. So I highly doubt that, even though they might start off saying, oh, okay, this can't happen because it's going to be a monopoly, guarantee you, all it takes is a little bit of that good old Disney money, or that Apple money for that matter, and everybody's going to look the other way, and suddenly the monopoly just doesn't matter anymore. It says, though it's possible that the entire process would eventually result in a favorable decision to both companies, the potential legal headaches and uphill battles that this deal would entail could be enough to dissuade either entity from even entertaining the idea of acquisition. So look, that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a rumor that's been around since the dawn of time, and people are still bringing it up now to this day. Whether the House of Mouse is actually bought by Apple anytime in the future, that's going to be decided many, many years from now. But as of right now, they are too busy on indoctrinating kids that they can't even think about being bought out by any company, because they don't want to give it up at this point. They want to focus on what they're trying to focus on, which is LGBTQ indoctrination. They want to focus on putting political agendas in all of their products, all of their movies, all of their TV shows, and they apparently love burning money. So maybe there is some credence and some actual legitimacy to the rumor that's going on regarding making it as cheap as possible for Apple. But whether or not that's true, we're going to find out in due time. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.